Hear that buzz? That's a tube amp cranked up all the way. But I have an attenuator on it. The, what do you call that? The Power Soak by Tom Schultz. So the output of the amp goes in the upper jack. Make sure you use a speaker cable, and then this cable comes out of this jack and goes into the cabinet, which I'm using a Marshall 412 with what are those old speakers? The 20-watt greenbacks, and these are vintage greenbacks, of course. So, so I grew up playing with a brown panel Princeton, which I still have, and I noticed, you know, I had some bigger Sun amps and Fender amps, and those were very extremely clean amps. But I noticed that the brown face, the brown panel amp, when cranked, sounded like the James Gang or Blue Oyster Cult or Aerosmith. It just completely shredded. And I also had P90 guitars, so I would just crank up that amp and go like this. I'm like, why does that sound so good? And those big amps sound real ice picky. Well, more watts is not more better. And yes, the brown panel Fender amps are kind of dark, and they do distort really well. They're kind of a weird transition from the tweed amps into the blackface. And I really do like the brown panel amps and the P90 guitars. So let's just hear a few chords. Pretty glorious. Microphonic, cool. Man, that's a glorious tube sound. So when people say, are you really into tube amps? I'm like, I think so. I think I do like tubes, but rarely am I going to crank an amp like this that loud without an attenuator, because my ears really can't take it. My ears ring pretty bad, probably because I've been cranking tube amps for 50 years. Yet I still love the sound of them. So remember, this is a like a kit amp, maybe Mojo amps, whatever they are, and it was built badly, so I had my amp repair friend go through and redo it to his specs. I said, please just take your time and make it as good as you can, and do your thing, and I'll just wait to hear from you. And it is really one of my favorite amps. So if I turn it down, it should clean up. Maybe I can turn up the attenuator. Now we'll get a little bit of grind there. More of a reasonable, not so maxed out is kind of, what do you call it? Kind of over compressed maybe. So this is a little more. That's about 12 o'clock or with the volume. And yes, the attenuator does make it sound kind of mushy too. So I think the less, you know, if you find a good balance, so maybe we turn it down a little more. Let's see if we can find a sweet spot. That's That's about 10:30, or yeah, 10 o'clock. Still pretty hot overdrive. Let's bring it down a little more. That's about 9 o'clock. That's, for my purposes, that would be a good tone. And I actually play kind of low. I try to play lower volume when I do gigs, but I don't want to be the loudest guy, but I don't want to be buried. I don't want to annoy people, but I don't want to be, inaudible. So finding a good volume level for the venue, or just knowing your equipment, that if I play maybe a little louder like that, people can still talk. They'll stay longer. So the trick, there's an old guy in Cedar Rapids that used to say, the louder you play, the less they'll stay. Or the quieter you play, the more they'll stay. So keep your volume down a little bit. Don't blow people's ears out, and they'll stick around. They'll have more fun without, people don't like getting their ears blown out. I found. I don't either, actually. So I kind of do it for my own preservation, so I can keep playing. I don't go completely deaf. And I really don't want to go deaf. If I do, I'll just rely on closed captioning, and I'll just have to read books, I guess, or read lips. That will be awkward, but for now, I just wear earplugs and hope for the best. So, yeah, man, if you got a tube amp, consider getting some sort of an attenuator. I'm not saying these are the best, the Power Soak, but it's been a reliable unit. It seems to do the job. I've got some others, and weird noises. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you think about attenuators. I think they're a very good tool to use with just the right amount of balance. You don't want to blast your amp. Probably won't sound that good. It's mostly, you find a sweet spot turning it down to, I usually turn my Marshalls up to 3, and they sound amazing. They sound huge. A little bit of overdrive is great. Blasting it, not so good. That's what I found out. But what do you think?